Hi, and welcome to Android Coliseum Hangout 149. It's February 10th, and I don't know about you guys, but we're in the middle of perhaps the end of a warm spell. We're having snow. What do you guys got going?
-25.
Ooh,
Yeah.
really? I
Yeah,
was out in the hoodie today.
that's without the windshield.
I was out in the hoodie. It was only -2.
You know what? Forget you guys. Yeah, so Martin and I are probably the same. I'm blaming Rob. It's this Winnipeg Clipper that has been gone through and gone over the lake and I guess hit nuts. Gone over the lake over to Martin there
Oh yeah.
by now. Like it was hitting -30s without the wind chill.
Yikes.
I mean, days are not too bad, but the wind has been up there, right? So
About a week ago or a week and a half ago, it was literally 7 or 8 degrees outside at the start of winterlude. So we had 2 weeks where the canal supposed actually the canal has only been open for about 6 days out of the 35 days it's supposed to be open, and it's ending in a week and a half from now.
Oh, yeah, we've actually had quite a few areas that it's been warm. We've got slushy bits on the.
Oh, definitely.
And I know I saw a picture from Medicine Hat, and they've got no snow, and it's spring-like down there. So we're all going.
That must be nice.
you want some of
No.
mine? I've had to snowblow slash shovel slash whatever 7 times in under 48 hours.
Oh, wesh.
Like
Well, Fred has fixed
decent
our
amount.
snowblower, so it's working better than it has for a long time. So we probably won't get any more snow until we want to.
Well, that's a good thing.
Well,
Yeah.
yes. Okay,
Weather.
well, enough about the weather. Let's start talking Android here. First of all, a lot of stuff seems to be going on with Pebble. Ryan, you want to talk about the Pagare Pebble strap?
Yeah, something that we'd seen a little while ago. Tilt made a strap for Pebble, which allowed it to have QI charging, and it had what was it, the heart rate monitor into your Pebble. So it's kind of neat to see these accessories come up because Pebble, I mean, they're starting to still rejuvenate themselves in terms of having some the Pebble Time Round, I think is the newer version. So they're still kicking around. So we just saw recently the Pagare, which is a Kickstarter campaign for a strap for Pebble, which would allow you to use your Pebble with the Pagare app to have a Visa attached to it. Then you just tap to a PayWave, and it would connect to your thing, and you could pay with your watch. Well, that was pretty cool. I mean, I don't know how well it would work in Canada because we tend to be a walled garden around our pay institutions. But I'm assuming because it's not like a Samsung Pay or Apple Pay or Android Pay or whatever like that, it's using PayWave, so it should work pretty straightforwardly, I would assume. In
It should
Canada.
definitely figure way fine for here in Canada because we've been on PayWave and the Flash Tap or Flash Interact for quite a while now. It should work.
Ah, but everything wants to have those NFC chips. Like for your phone, you can't just use your built-in NFC. You have to get the special NFC SIM. So it will be
No,
interesting.
no, definitely not. Not required for me.
Well, that's if you use like the TD app or whatever. The TD app one, you have the NFC SIM, right? But this is not an app, or this is essentially just the Pagare app will sort of mimic the NFC information that would be in your RFID chip on your device. And so it should just mimic it being an actual Visa card
Very
or
cool.
yeah, or Mastercard or wherever, right? So it sounds pretty
Is
cool.
there a
So
PayWave app in the store?
no, that's not happening.
I mean, there is verified by Visa. How couldn't you do that?
Yeah,
It would be
it would be
nice.
nice. But that makes people working together, and we know how well that works out, right?
Yes.
I'm still waiting for Samsung Pay. Come on,
I'm at the point where probably Android Pay will show up before Samsung Pay does.
You never know.
Because
I don't care.
Android Pay works with American Express in Canada.
But ask yourself this
Who
though,
wants to use
Martin:
American Express?
the number of times you talk to somebody that I get somebody who says, "Hey, well, what's right? You're not an Apple person. You're a what's that other one? Samsung person." how often is Samsung synonymous with Android in such a place that it actually places it? So I could foresee that Samsung would have Samsung Pay and before Android Pay.
And it's
My
funny
prediction.
that you should say that because Fred just ordered a pair of Bose headphones, and they're wired, and they were for Samsung and Android. I'm going.
And Android.
um, and
Interesting.
why is that different than Apple? And I would imagine it's because it is a headset. So
It's probably the
noise
3.5 jack has different configuration on it,
right.
which is different from the one that they have for the iPhone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
iPhone has a different.
But it was just funny that it said, when you said that, I just thought, yeah, it says Samsung and Android, just in case you don't know those are the same thing.
Pretty much.
Not many people do for some
Anyway.
reason.
Mobile World Congress. I am
It's
going
coming
to
up
be
fast.
retiring in a few years, and that's one of the places I want to go to.
Barcelona, Spain.
Ah,
Do you speak Spanish?
no.
¿No hablo español?
Hablo español. Dos cervezas, por favor. That's all I know.
Yeah,
That kind of
that's.
Spanish.
But Ryan, you were going to talk about Mobile World Congress.
Yeah, so not this weekend. I think it's the next weekend, which will be the 22nd to the 25th. Oh, go away. I'm making noises on my tablet here. Anyways, yeah, so it's coming up, and it's just a matter of, this is sort of the CES of just phones and stuff like that we care about, right? So this is actually where CES tended to be like, these are the cool things we're kind of working on that you may see in 2017, maybe 2016. Mobile World Congress is like, yeah, this came. We're letting this go now. What do you think? Cool. So this is what happened last year. We saw the S6 launched on the same day we saw the M9 launched. So this year we're going to potentially hear about the S7.
Mm-hmm.
LG is confirmed, which again I'm kind of annoyed that every year I used to make fun of Sony because Sony had 6-month turnarounds. LG is starting to close that window. Every year it seems to be getting closer and closer. Like it was October for the G2, September for the G3, June for the G4. Now we're looking at February for the G5. The LG is going to be announcing their new G5 device potentially with this always-on display, which sounds pretty cool. We don't know. Have we heard anything about the HTC M10? I don't know if they've made any comment about it yet, right?
The information has been scarce at this point on the M10.
Yeah, there's been some rumors here or there, but I mean, there hasn't been enough like, I'll look for it in April or whatever. I want to say it was, obviously last year, it launched the same day as the M7 at the Mobile World Congress, so it should be out soon. I mean, nobody wants to wait a full year, right? So.
Yep. And
Anyway,
a comment on HTC, if anybody's been paying attention, they've pretty much pulled out of all the carriers in Canada.
Really?
Yep.
Hmm.
Except for Virgin Mobile and Kudo, they still have some mid-range devices, but...
Well, the A9 is available, I believe, on Bell, isn't it?
Nope.
The A9 I just reviewed?
Yep, nope.
They stopping?
They pulled out of the North American carrier section.
So are they thinking of going unlock only then, or?
Don't know. There's no information.
They need to really pull something out of the fire for this. Hopefully they're circling the wagons and trying to figure out some great campaign. Because that's one of the things we always talked about. When I reviewed the HTC One A9, they're actually decent, really good phones. There's just no marketing behind it, right? Like the few friends I know that have.
Everybody says about HTC though, and it's.
The phone is
Nobody
awesome, but there's no marketing to push it out.
But then again, like it's like
Sony, and they say the same thing about. Well, they were saying the same thing about LG for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have the money to throw.
And they need to throw in a lot of money. A lot.
And they have the reputation. It's just.
Well, the Desire 66 is still at Bell. Yeah.
Yeah, the older models are going to be there, but none of the flagship model that they would talk about.
Interesting. I did not realize that. Speaking of HTC.
Yes, the M8, M9 getting marshmallow. Talking about that.
So I can talk about that. So they just originally it was supposed to be in June or January, and it was sort of slated as, whoa, they're going to be the first Canadian ones to get Marshmallow aside from Nexus. And I think we had talked about it one of the first Hangouts back in January. And then what happened is they hit a snag and they had to pull the update and they pushed it back to February. So I don't know if that still puts them in the window of their 90 days, but when they say, I think it kind of puts them beyond it, but there were issues. So they now have Marshmallow. So that basically, we have LG, we have HTC, for Samsung. Not yet, but you'll get it soon. Not that you care, Cass.
That's correct.
You're good. You're good on Lollipop. It has all the features, and like we were talking earlier, like to get Marshmallow on my G4, visually nothing changed. The only thing that really changed in my day-to-day use is I can't swipe up to get Google Now anymore. I have to do the Google Now on tap. Other than that, it's pretty decent. Doze is pretty cool. I mean, like the days that you forget to put your phone on charge overnight, and it only will drop like 2%. That's kind of nice. Or the fact usually when I get to work, I put my phone down and I do work, and I barely touch my phone. So all that time I'm not touching my phone, it's not draining batteries like it used to. It's actually lasting a little bit longer. I'm getting about an extra 5-10% out of the day easily.
Well, I have the app optimization, and it seems to work for me. The Smart Manager. Art Manager. I don't know.
Some of the Samsung features are actually pretty neat.
I'm happy with the way my phone is working, and of course you always hear about the people who had the weird things going when their phone updates. Samsung waits long enough that
Yeah.
it doesn't happen, and they've got a lot of those features already built in, which I suspect is why it takes a long time for them to update, because they have to untangle. So, but
there's a lot of custom items that goes into the Samsung ROM, so yeah, it makes sense that it would take their time for them to actually push it out.
Well, I mean, if you want to customize it, right? Essentially, and do it right. I mean, like I said, you have to disentangle what they have already, get the new AOSP stuff, throw it in there, and then re-entangle it back together.
And do it in a way so that the current users don't have a lot of issues with either learning new stuff or like just issues.
Which is really cool. I actually liked. I've never seen this before on an update with. And I don't know anybody with the M9 or M8 to bug them to see what happens on their update. But when I did the G4 update, what's really nice is that it's when it says, hey, you have an update for OTA. Here's the features that are going to change, and actually you could scroll through. Here's the features that are going to change, and then it did the update, and then it came back, hey, you just an update. These are the features that changed, and then certain things automatically popped up, like, hey, you use NOT code. We're now going to 6-point NOT code, so please update your thing here. Oh, this is now changed, and here's a link to the website just so you can see all the changes and what features are. But it's I was gonna say the first time I've seen that ever happen. Normally it's just like you got an update.
Have fun.
See you later. So. Anyway.
Okay. Also getting Marshmallow is Sony.
Yeah, Sony's got a couple of phones in the beginning. Marshmallow, actually, what they're pretty much referring to as concept. The Sony Z5, fortunately, only certain areas in Europe is actually getting the Z5, and it's still part of their concept beta program that they have. It's the same thing for the Z2 and the Z3 currently. They are also getting the Marshmallow concept, and at this point, I mean, it's the idea of having a stock experience, but still with the Sony interface. So all the Sony little quirks and design built on their team engine that's available within the Sony experience.
I'm surprised Sony isn't rolling out Marshmallow more quickly, because their user interface is pretty stock.
It's not the user interface; it's all the sub features. Like the camera is specifically tailored to the performance of the camera. It's tied into the battery. It's tied into the OS.
Because I remember when you root, you lose
some of the features.
Stuff.
Yeah. So it's all the extra bells and whistles that takes time, and And even in the beta program, from what I've been able to see, there's only like a few thousands, and that's about it.
Hmm. Well, and more marshmallow. I sold my Moto 360 to Rob for a smoking good deal. I'm happy to be able to help other people with their tech habit. But Martin, you also got the marshmallow for Android Wear.
Android Wear earlier today, the update rolled on my watch, and it's not. I didn't even notice. It's just to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna swipe off this notification I received like half an hour ago, and I'm like, oh, you're actually doing an update. That's lovely. So finish the update, gets on, and I'm like, oh, look at this. Everything is much faster, snappy. Before you could see the lag and the refresh between the windows, and now I can just scroll as if I'm scrolling my tablet and keep going.
Nice.
So big difference. I mean, we have now 5 gestures that can be used on the wristwatch, and it's going to be now able to switch between Wi-Fi and Bluetooth depending on what it needs to connect it to be able to talk to your phone, so that it can get updates and notification cards and whatnot. And apparently those features should be included as well, so maybe more battery life, and the nice application specific settings. So once you get an app installed, it's going to ask you questions about if you want to allow this permission to be allowed for this application and whatnot. So it should be interesting to see how it works. One thing I did love, I can disable all the damn fit portion of the application. There's actually a mode where you can actually swipe it and say disable, which is perfect.
See, I love the fit part. I'm now one of those junkies that checks. Ooh, 14.98 kilometers today.
Oh, see, I'm looking. 12,028 steps.
How many steps did I do? 12,240. Oh, right.
You beat me. I didn't go to a class today, though. All I did was do inspection.
Oh, see, and I jogged. So, anyways,
Well,
that's cool. I'm looking forward to some of the gestures were a little weird, like to select. You got to do like you got to move your hand, like
Yeah.
Like I kind of like doing the wrist gestures. Like those are actually kind of work for me. Like I actually do them not too. I do, but to go. Okay, that's what I want to do.
Don't go too much like that.
Like
That should be
I'm like,
interesting.
I'm sending a text message.
Although I have to admit, when I had my Moto 360, I had to put it in theater mode during exercise class because I'd be doing something and all of a sudden it's very distracting when your watch face all of a sudden comes on. So that's
That would do it. Good thing I actually have to touch mine for it to come on.
I'm actually still, I know you better talk about Marshmallow, but I have to say that I still really am happy with my S2. So,
Hey, whatever works.
yep. It's the nice thing about wearables becoming popular is there's a lot more options for everybody. We have Martin who doesn't want any fitness at all, but if you do want fitness, like holy smokes, there's a lot of choices. Even Fitbit by itself has.
I mean, if you're going for a fitness wearable, I mean, you might as well go with the Fitbit application. The Fitbits, they're well built and they have loads of option. I mean, I think some of the newer ones even have the heart rate monitor now.
Yep, and GPS, I think.
I
Perhaps.
think you're correct.
Anyways, I'm perfectly happy with mine. Ryan is waiting for marshmallows.
Yeah, I'm kind of like this thing is starting to hit this thing. I'm waiting to get that, that other watch back, the Sony smartwatch back. That was nice.
Well, hopefully in the next generation
sorry, the Moto
of Android
Sport,
where
sorry.
they'll have microphones and speakers.
Which could be interesting as well, yeah.
I'm not sure I'm big on having a speaker, but that's just me. Again, choice.
Yeah.
Like, you know it's going to be the next thing, right? You know all the companies are going to do it. They're all going to have a speakers eventually.
Well, I really liked having the speaker on the Gear S that I got for a tester last year. That was really nice. And even I was using my watch for navigation when I was in Vancouver. And it would have been nice to have my wrist speak to me and put my phone away, but like my phone was right beside me, so it was talking. It'd be irritating to have both of those talking. But no, maybe for navigation it would be nice.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But who knows? Let's move on to the OnePlus 2. It's among many of the handsets that have price dropped recently. So it's at $50 off. And Ryan, you were saying the Nexuses are also $50 off right now?
Well, last week we talked about there was I think it was just a 6P, or I can't remember if the 6P and a 5X.
Okay.
Just the 5X as well. Or the 5X might be on a permanent price drop.
The 5X on a permanent, the 6P price drop that it had was a sale. So it's going back to regular price within 2 days. So if you're still thinking about a 6P, 2 days, and otherwise it's going to be going back up to price.
I mean, if it was $100 off, I'd consider it, but not for $50. No.
Yeah, that's your shipping essentially, right? Because you're going to buy it from the Play Store, yada yada yada. So that's your shipping. Well, anyways, but yeah, so the OnePlus 2 is now price dropped by $50 permanently. As we know, the OnePlus 2 you still need to get an invite, or I think they have it now at like on the Thursdays. You can buy it without an invite. Weird to have it only 1 day only, but I don't run the company. That's weird.
I'm sure there's some reason. Maybe it's still.
Oh, there's no doubt.
People want something they can't have.
Pretty much.
Well, let's talk Rogers.
Yeah.
Rogers in the NHL.
Which is not something I would usually talk about, but the NHL and the Rogers Game Center Live app has now been totally revamped. So a whole new interface and a whole new experience. I actually like the way the interface looks and the revamped options that they've done within the application. I mean, to know exactly all the details, you might as well just install the app and just play with it a bit. But it makes so much more sense than what they had before. It's more fluid, it's easier to find information, and you can just browse the schedules and get information as what you want for what's going on with the Game Center Live.
I thought sports fans would do whatever it took.
Essentially, yes, they would.
Now it just makes it easier for them.
Exactly.
I'll make new jokes. How it needs to be easier.
And the last thing we have is Ryan.
Yeah, so I just saw Chris Pollard just posted on his Google Plus, so I just saw this just before we went live. Alcatel One Touch. We talked last week about a leak, how their new Idol 4s were going to be relaunched soon, whether that will Congress or not, but the idea was that it was leaked out the other day. So not only was it leaked, but they just actually leaked out the fact that the box they're going to be coming in will be a VR viewer, which was like essentially its own little cardboard. Which that was cool. That is so neat, like how they can utilize that kind of stuff. So I mean, I'm loving all these new boxings that they put into devices and phones coming out. Again, but I mean the fact that it's a VR viewer.
That's cool.
It's an added bonus.
Absolutely genius. That'd be great if I could, just take the top off the ZTE box and there we go. Oh, that'd be awesome.
I don't think I posted the pictures of us walking around the kitchen with the VR. Like I got red cardboard.
That would have been funny.
We both got pictures of us, and you always end up putting your head out, like as if it's gonna make you see better or something. Everybody looks silly with cardboard on.
Hey, well, I mean, it's funny. There's been so much talk lately about VR becoming that mainstream. I mean, the Oculus Rift, Samsung Gear VR, the HTC Vive, cardboard. I mean, we talked about it a lot ourselves, but I think it's definitely becoming more and more mainstream. Like, I don't know if I was telling you guys when I was in Toronto last. I think there was that lunar thing going on. The big supermoon was going on.
Oh, okay.
And as we were there were one of the astronomy places had their displays out, but they actually had a Samsung Gear VR that you could go and view the stars and stuff. So like you're starting to see these more places, and something was going on at our mall, but they were doing something with the VR demonstration, and so it's like it's definitely becoming something more
of a thing.
Like a mainstream, people are recognizing it more and more often, right? So.
Kind of cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think that brings us to the end of our topics. It's a pretty light week. And
Mhm.
then next week is this is a long weekend for us. Is it a long weekend for you guys too?
Yep.
Nope, definitely not.
No. What?
You don't get family day off?
No,
Oh,
it's
you work federally. You're
federal
federal,
government.
right?
Nope. That
Yeah.
means post office is open. It means banks are open.
Right, right. I see.
Now,
We're closed.
we too are federal, but we used to be Alberta. And so the office staff really whined until we got it off again.
Yeah, no,
So,
it's not going to happen. Everybody's going to be at the office, so you'll have 35,000 employees in the office downtown.
aw.
Oh well. I will think of you. Actually, I mean, as it is, like I forgot it was the long weekend and sort of the Monday was the holiday and booked client meetings in for that day anyways, and then just realized that I'm like, because usually it's later in the week. It's like the 20th or something, right? So
Mm.
I didn't even
Yeah,
register.
usually it's the third Monday, and this year the first Monday was the first. So,
Right?
yeah, it is
So
pretty early.
yeah, so it feels a bit earlier. So I totally forgot. So I had to move a bunch of stuff off my plate on the Monday, and now I'm like, wait a minute, there's nothing going on Monday. I could get some of the paperwork done. I need to get done. Oh, I could just go into the office and it's quiet.
It would be.
Oh, Ryan.
I'm not
But
going
it's
to
family
complain.
day. I should probably spend family day with the family, right?
Yes. The
Something like
only
that.
time that I work on family day is when I want that day off, like when I'm going to use it as a floater.
Yeah,
But
we'll pick up a loo.
I found as I get older that I really like having that long weekend in February, just to lounge around, sleep
Yeah.
in,
And my
and
son gets it
do
a
stuff.
4 day because they have a PA day on the Friday.
Oh, that's
Mm.
always nice.
So, yeah.
Although I kind of wish that I was out in Vancouver and did their long weekend because they do it for the Lunar New Year, usually coincides.
Okay.
So it'd be kind of fun to go to some of the Chinese New Year celebrations.
Yeah.
No, that would be fun, yeah.
The
Hmm.
year of the monkey, right? So,
Yes.
mischief.
So I guess that wraps it up. We've managed to sort of weeble away another 4 minutes. We have some reviews coming up. Ryan was showing us all the phones he has at
A
his
nice little
desk.
collection.
Which is your daily driver now, Ryan?
It's still my G4. I have enough of the devices like this, but this the ZTE Axon Pro, it was pretty darn good. I mean, the 4 gigs of RAM was amazing how it kept everything humming along. Whereas I'm starting to notice nowadays on my G4 that you certain things you exit out and you back out to another app and you go back into it, it needs to reload. So
Hmm.
it's like maybe that'll be my next daily driver. But again, I'm picky, so I'm staying on the G4 until I find the right one. But the ZTE Axon Pro, really nice device, pretty cool. A lot of neat features about it. Like you were mentioning earlier, Cass, about ZTE, kind of makes a heftier device. So you kind of have to get used to this. It's not real gold, but it almost feels like it. Um, so yeah, it does have, but I mean, to me that makes it feel like it's a real solid phone, not one of those light, airy, tossed around in the air phones. Right? So
Well, I mean, it's not all weight. It's weight and distribution.
yeah,
So,
and it's evenly distributed across, right? So it's not like top heavy or chin heavy or whatever. Right? So yeah, I have the full review up on the website, so you guys can review it there. Basically the same as the Axon non-Pro, but just with the 4 gigs of RAM, Quad HD display, slightly better processor, which was the A10, which had that little overheating issue, but you don't really notice it.
well, and then Savon has the Oppo F1 coming up,
She does,
which
and
will be
that should be coming up
interesting.
shortly.
I know she's been using that as her daily driver, she mentioned last week, so it'll be cool to see her thoughts on it, to go from her Apple N3 or her, what is the other one she was using? The Find? She was using the Find or the N3,
Find 7.
right? And then to go down to a tiny little F1 as her daily. Interesting.
Yes. I think we're all getting used to these bigger phones, and it's all how they make it fit in your hand,
Mm.
really. Because I'm still using just. You guys use two hands? That was what that thing was. Somebody said they didn't like using two hands to text, and I'm going, what are you talking about?
Yeah, pretty
I
much
still only use
here.
one hand to text.
Yeah,
I can use
same
one
here.
hand to text.
I just swipe.
Yeah,
Now,
I
swipe. Or I mean, it's funny how quickly we get that little bracing with the pinky, right? The way
Yeah,
you hold your
you're
hand,
right.
you brace it with the pinky, just that right amount. It works just fine.
Balancing act.
You get
Yeah,
used to
no,
it.
a lot of the people that don't use the swiping, they're the ones that still hold the device like this, and they go click, 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 and I'm like, what
Well,
are you
even
doing?
you can tap that way, but swiping it just makes it so much. The gesture is
Yeah.
because even if you don't swipe all the way over to the queue and you go
Yeah, it's gonna
around,
guess you're going
it's
there.
like you're probably getting the queue.
You're more than likely getting the cue, yeah. And
And really,
Swiftkey's pretty accurate for that swipe as well.
I find swipe is much better for swiping than SwiftKey. But
The other way around,
just to
Cash.
not even argue about that, if I get really annoyed, I just do voice because really, voice works amazingly well. So let's call it a night.
But tonight,
Good night.
all
Yeah,
right,
take care, guys.
everybody.
And the dogs
No.
are saying good night too.
See you next week.
See ya.